February the 15th, 2022. Guys, you're looking at a large area of the February the 15th, 2022. Guys, you're looking at AccuWeather radar of the planet. And I want you to notice something about the northern hemisphere in many areas, including the U.S., and we talked about this last night, but look at parts of India, look at parts of Africa, all through Europe and Asia, all through Canada and the U.S., through Mexico. And you're seeing some moisture, but these are light showers down into South America. Now, you guys over in the U.K., north of the Mediterranean, in this east or western section of Europe, you're getting some moisture. But just kind of look at it. There's been some tropical storms and all, but we're definitely in a drying trend. Let me just pull up here to the U.S., because sometimes if you're zoomed that far out, it won't pick everything up. But check this out. Now, things are about to change, and that's part of this video. I'm going to show you going into tomorrow, Wednesday, into Thursday, and the change in the storms and the moisture. But will it be enough to offset this dry period that we're in? And I want to do that, and I want to answer some of the questions and the comments that you guys put into the video from last night talking about major food shortage coming up, because it's important, and had time to think about a lot of it. And you guys came in and answered so many questions from other folks asking questions in the comments that's a tremendous help. And always 2 heads and 3 heads and 10 heads are better than one, because everyone has different experiences. Then you can see as the radar moves, it's very dry, guys. That's very concerning to me, because we are dealing with new science. I've said it, because we are now, for the first time in a grand minimum solar cycle, that we have not seen in our lifetime, and maybe in the last couple of 100 years. So everything is changing. You've got volcanic activity that's putting a lot of ash into the air, reflecting some sunlight. But this is very concerning to me, this dry conditions, and we're right here going into planting season in the south. I know it's a little different the further north you go up, but again, all we can do is hope and pray that the thunderstorms that we're going to see come in Wednesday through Thursday will alleviate some of that in the south. I don't know about the north, but again, we do plant sooner than you do. And I want to answer a lot of the comments from last night, or a couple of them, because many of you guys answered so many questions, but a few concerned me a lot. One lady said that her and her mother live in a 5-story apartment. There's no way for them to grow a garden. And to me, that would be a nightmare, because I've always lived in the country. I couldn't imagine that. It would be like a prison. But we're going to try to, I'm going to say, at the end of this video, I'm going to talk about your options. So hang in there. Let's look at the National Weather Service a moment. And this map tells a lot about what we're going to see for the next couple of days. You've got winter weather advisories across the northwestern sections of the nation. Then you get into these red flag warnings where it's too dry and too windy to burn, drought conditions almost. If you look back through New Mexico, Arizona, California, Nevada, these browns and yellows and tan all have to do with wind advisories, blowing dust advisories, things like that. So it's dry. Now notice that coming up into Missouri, you have flood watches. What's happening is, and above that, say this, winter storm watches and advisories all through this area. So what we've got is a clash between very cold air and moist air that's pumping off the Gulf right now. Now this is tonight. This is Tuesday night. So here you're going to get some rain. Guys, don't burn, and make sure that you're prepared for what's going to be coming tomorrow. Let's take a look at that. Now this starts tomorrow. Notice Wednesday night, Texas, going into Oklahoma City, up into Arkansas, northwestern Louisiana, tornado threats, flooding downpours, hail, powerful wind gusts, AccuWeather local storm max 80 miles per hour. That you could lose some power, and you could have some trees down in some damaging areas. The flooding downpours, sometimes they help with the drought Sometimes they run off a lot quicker than a long, slow rain that saturates into the ground. Either way, the moisture factor is a plus. Now, if you remember, though, the flooding downpours, if you're in a low-lying area, which a lot of folks are when you start getting down into Texas, Louisiana, then remember to keep an eye on that. But what we're dealing with, the highest risk will be to the west of Dallas. This is tomorrow night. Now, up into Oklahoma and Oklahoma City. And when you're dealing with tornadoes, guys, if you're not careful, if you're not prepared, you can lose everything, including your life, very quickly. Now, let's go to the next day, Thursday into Thursday evening. Tornado threats, flooding downpours, damaging wind gusts. Again, storm max local wind, 80 miles per hour. The only thing that's changed is that it's moving to the east and to the northeast. But some of the sections, you're going to be in it for going into late tomorrow night and through the morning. But again, tornado threats, all the things we talked about above. But guys, one thing if you look at some of the pressure changes, there's going to be a swath of this. Just take my word on it. It's not on the map. That, say, from the southern border with Texas and Louisiana, I think that's the Sabine River, up through Jackson, and just kind of an area right here in the middle of this section, elongated just like that is going to be the severest area simply because of the wind pressure changes and the cold air mixing with this Gulf moisture. So this section, central Mississippi, central Louisiana, going up into northwest Alabama, into Tennessee. Be very careful about that. So we got starting tomorrow night back to the west of this, going into Thursday. This is what we have. Notice this is Alabama, Georgia, Carolinas, Kentucky, Tennessee. And guys, they really don't have much on Friday yet, but I will keep an eye on it because it's going to move northeast and possibly set up some freezing colder weather from there. But again, I don't want to go that far ahead. But the next 2 days, all of my friends from Texas, all the way to Carolinas, are going to be something you want to pay attention to. After these storms come through, we're going to drop back into the 20s at night as far as wind chill factors. That's going to maybe 48 hours of cooler weather. Then we're going to go into spring-like conditions for a few weeks. But you need to be safe and get through this. Now let me go. I want to go to our website, bpearthwatch.com, and I want to show you something because one of the questions, again, was if you live in the city, you can't plant. And I assume you can't afford to get out of Dodge, find you an acre and get a camper. And there's probably half the nation in that situation. The cities are traps. First of all, the cities with a lot of bridges that, say, New York, places like that can easily be blockaded. Imagine escape from L.A., escape from New York. But what would be the answer to that? What would help in the survival if you had a month of chaos or a couple of months of chaos where you couldn't go out? Guys, I'm going to show you something on our website. A lot of you know about it. Now, the situation, imagine this. You're stuck in a city. You're in an apartment, 5th floor. You can't grow a garden. The shelves are bare. There's nothing else coming in. What do? Now, especially if you're in a city that's the only way out is bridges, like maybe Manhattan or New York or Long Island, something like that. Big city, the roads are easily blocked. What you need to do is right now, if you can, come over here and do what I've done and millions of people have done in the last 10 years. Come in here and order something, or either go to the store now if you can and stock up enough for at least 4, 5, 6 months. Get what you got to have. It doesn't have to be luxury food. It doesn't have to be comfort food. If it's nothing but beans and rice and you survive, that's a big deal. But if you click here, and by the way, quickly, we have solar panels. We have the #1 water filter on the planet and the #1 supplier of survival food and supplies. We vetted these very carefully. We use them ourselves. I think it's the best you can get, best prices, But just click right here at the top, which says Save 232. That will take you to many other specials. This is one where you get like a month's worth of food, the Alexa Pure Water Filter, which the filter in it is replaceable, but one filter will give you 5,000 gallons of water. That's $5,000. If you can get pure water like this filtered for $1 a gallon, just do the math. Plus you get some bug out equipment, things like that. But if you already have the water filter and all, you may want to just concentrate, like just come up here, scroll across the top, long-term, short-term food storage, or a special emergency food kits, and just click through there and look at, you got fruit and vegetable kits, meat and protein kits. Order them now. They're not in that backlog like they were when the pandemic first started. Again, let's go and look at, say, the short-term food storage, because this stuff will go for 20 or 30 years. I think you're going to need it much quicker than that, the way that we're seeing this progress. 4-week supply, $247. And think about that. So you've got, that's what, $60 or so, $65 a week. You're not going to be able to buy this type food for $65 for a week in any grocery store now. And you can go to different things. This is a 2,000 calories a day, 2-week supply. Here you're saving, what, that's 177, 1-week supply, to where if you thought that would get you through, which I don't think it's going to do it, but it would at least maybe give you time to get the hell out of Dodge, $69. $24, 72-hour sample pack. Guys, again, not really trying, I have all of this. I've had it for years. I don't mind telling you that. I don't care if people know about it. You've got different options, MREs. Here, these 10-can mega food packs, 482 servings, $251. It's expensive to make. All of this is free shipping. There's tremendous ways that you can combine all of these things, the coffee, everything else like that. Again, we prepared for all of it. You can go up to 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. If you come back up here, and I'm just going to kind of go through it. We don't do this a lot. You can come in here with 3 months, 6 months, 1 year supply. Fruit and, just look through it. Mega protein packs here. 72 servings, $197. But, again, say you went with a 1 year supply or 6 month supply, and that's what a 3 month or 6 month supply will get you into the situation to where if you need to move, get out. I don't care if it's with covered wagon, okay? If there's no gas, you're going to need to survive one way or the other. Things are going back the way it was in the old days. They're not going to come back the way they were, so prepare for that. But let me just say this. Right here, this last button, it says buy now, pay later. This is key. I use it. And what it's telling us that no money down, affordable monthly payments, 0% annual percentage rate up to 12 months. In other words, no interest for 12 months. 90% approval rate, safe and secure. I've used it. Affirm is a very solid company. So you can, whatever you're getting, if it's $600 supply for 6 months or 3 months or whatever you decide to pick out, and you can combine these. Think about the 0% interest over 12 months. And think about, it's going to be a lot quicker than that before everything hits the fan. Just put all of this in your mind, calculate how this thing's going to work out. You understand what I'm saying? But I use this and say, if you get $2,000 worth of food, and you go through this, through a firm here, $200 a month. That's less than it takes you to go, most people to go to the grocery store for a week. Okay? So there's ways to do this, and this is the only answer I have on you folks that are stuck in the cities. But even if you're not, even if you are growing a garden and something happened, there was crop failure or whatever, this is a great idea. And hundreds, if not thousands, of you guys that watch this channel have already done this. And again, water filtration is very
important. You can always boil your water, but you're going to have both food and water. The golden rule is you can go 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food if you have water. And you're going to lose a lot of weight, but you'll still be alive. But we're going to be dealing with something that biblically, there's twice it talks about 5 months. So at least try to plan on that. Again, this is not an advertisement. This is part of our website, but this is answering the only way I know how to for you folks stuck in the city. It's a heads up, guys. Be safe.